Welcome to Spotlight. Good evening. Peace and blessings, everyone. I'm Chiwenka. I'm here with Dr. Dawson. He's the president of the Hlscc Community College, and I'm here with Mrs. Geraldine Ritter-Freeman. She is the director of communications, marketing, and public relations. And we're going to talk about Hlscc Community College tonight. You know, there's a lot been said about the college. Some people, some good things, some not so good things. I think a lot of us in the community don't know enough about Hlscc Community College, where it came from, where it's going, accomplishments, achievements, its relationship to the community, its importance to the community. And tonight we're going to try to bring some clarity to Hlscc Community College and give the community a sense of its importance and the progress that it has made over the years. You keep it locked right here. I'm going to come right back with the president and the director of communications right after these words from our sponsor. I'll be right back.
This program is sponsored by the law firm of J.S. Archibald & Co. and by the trust company J.S. Archibald Trust Services Limited, both of Roadtown, Tortola, BVI.
Welcome back to Spotlight. It's my pleasure to have with me this evening Dr. Kyle Dawson, president of the Hlscc Community College, and Mrs. Geraldine Ritter-Freeman, director of communications. Welcome to Spotlight.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Thank you very much, Cromwell.
Good to have you. I look like stars. Make the show look like a big time show.
It's big time. It has a big time host, so you know.
but thank you. You know, Hlscc Community College, Dr. Dawson, it's been around for 21 years now. This will be the 21st year.
22nd year, actually.
22nd year, okay. You mean it was 2 years we celebrated it already? Jeez. Well, I don't keep track of time. I'm too old to keep track of time. You know. But a lot is happening. I know that you've developed a new vision. Talk to us about that. Talk to us about how that come about and what does that mean for us.
Well, as you said, Cromwell, the college has been around for 22 years. And for most of that 22 years, right up until this year, we had a particular mission statement, and we actually did not have a vision statement. The mission statement spoke essentially to what they thought the college should be about. Essentially, educating students who would then transfer onto programs that would be bachelor's degree granting, as well as prepare persons for the workforce. Those were the two main areas. But we also saw ourselves as enriching the quality of life, even in far as cultural and other events are concerned. And in developing the new mission statement for the college, and the process we took, it was a part of actually our strategic planning exercise, which is still ongoing. But from that exercise, we've been able to identify a couple of main outputs already, and that's the vision statement and the mission statement. And the both statements required us to engage the community. The college community, meeting with various stakeholder groups inside the college, as well as the wider community. We met with individuals, for instance, from the financial services. We met with the Chamber of Commerce and Hotel Association, other stakeholders in education in the territory. We, of course, met on Virgin Gorda with some of our students, alumni, faculty over there as well. So through those set of consultations, we then came up with new directions as far as the mission and vision statement for the college is concerned. And essentially, the wording is new, Cromwell, but in fact, the ideas are not particularly new. We are still about the business of preparing students for continuing their studies. We're still about preparing students for entrance into the workplace or improving your status within the workplace, as well as for entrepreneurial opportunities. We focus a lot more in the mission statement, though, on lifelong learning. The idea, of course, that it's not about simply earning that first degree, but in your professional life as well as in your personal life, we're really encouraging persons to engage in learning throughout their whole lives. That's what keeps life vibrant and allows individuals to meet challenges in their personal as well as professional life. As far as the vision statement is concerned, that also now has included a vision of the college taking on more of a regional role. Not necessarily to say that we will offer every program that's there. We don't envisage ourselves as the next University of the West Indies, for instance. But we believe that through the years we have, and we believe that we will continue to develop particular programs that would be of interest not only to the local market but to markets outside of the British Virgin Islands.
Such as?
So some of those, one thing that we have done already in the past was the culinary program, and we were successful in that, certainly in recruiting students from nearby Caribbean islands. We had students from the U.S. Virgin Islands, from Anguilla, St. Vincent, and so on. As well, we had a few students from the United States as well. So that was certainly one area. Another area that was fairly exciting for us too is the area of disaster management. Both in the degree as well as in shorter courses. For the shorter courses over the last 2 years, we have serviced the needs of students online throughout the Caribbean, having students participate in our courses from Jamaica, Turks and Caicos, Barbados, St. Vincent, Antigua, and so on. And in addition, we've also had about 3 or 4 courses where we have had people come into the territory to participate in courses in disaster management related areas. And of course there's that benefit of revenue to the college, but when we're able to bring persons here, it also means there's something for the taxi driver, there's something for the hotels, there's something for restaurants, and so on as well. So when we think of the scope of the college and the impact of the college, sometimes we have to think not beyond what is immediately visible, but because of the way we pursue the delivery of the product, that there are some other spin-off effects as well.
What about the Marine Center? Is that something that we could use to have a regional entrance into the market?
Certainly, and we have again done some of that. We've had, for instance, our main product as far as a marine program. One of the main products is the Caribbean Boat Masters license that we do, as well as the STCW. STCW is a MIO Maritime International Maritime Organization qualification that is sort of the basic requirement for seafarers. So that if you're going to be on major commercial or major private vessels, you have to be have passed your STCW. So we have persons from local ferry companies to large private yachts, other individuals come in here. We've had students come from St. Kitts, St. Vincent, Antigua to take those courses. So one of the things, again, with now as we move towards more of a regional drive, it's going to be a question for us as a college to determine, okay, how do we actually reach those markets? Because in some instances, even especially as far as the marine program is concerned, we were able to get those students, not huge numbers, but those that we were able to get, were done without significant marketing drive. Right? It was, the word got out among the marine community, and we will also still try to use that sort of networking, but there's more that we could do as far as trying to reach those markets.
Okay, well, might as well I bring Ms. Rita Freeman in talking about marketing. I hadn't planned to have you enter at that point, but you know, these things have a life of their own. These shows have a life of their own. You just came on board, and you have a long history, lots of experience in marketing as director of GIS. Is that what you call it?
Chief Information Officer.
Chief Information Officer. What are you bringing to the college, particularly regarding the vision that Dr. Dawson has just described and some of the goals particularly in marketing the college regionally? What do you feel that you're bringing? What's your vision? What do you see your new role is in the college environment?
Well, thank you so much again, Cromwell, first of all, for allowing us to be here. I know you had such a hectic schedule and you were able to allow us to come on the program. We really appreciate that. One of the things that we really want to do, I'll start with even our parents here tonight, is to really get some of the experts and some of the college officials to really begin to come out into the community on local talk shows and so forth, and really begin to speak about what has taken place at the college. I've been at the college for 5 weeks, and I feel like I've enrolled in college myself, because it's really a learning experience. I'm just sitting and listening to Dr. Dawson and having meetings and speaking to lecturers and students and staff. It's all a whole new world for me, and it's amazing because I've been living in the Virgin Islands for some time, but the things that I'm learning, having been at the college as an employee for the past 5 weeks, it's amazing. And so my role and my responsibility is to bring some of that information into the community and bring more awareness as to what has taken place at Hlscc. There's so many things. Dr. Dawson just touched on a few things that are going on currently at the college, but we want to make sure that anyone that you speak to in the Virgin Islands at any time can speak confidently about the mission of the college, the vision of the college. We want to make sure that they can articulate the course offerings at the college. We want to make sure that they can articulate how the college was established, why it was established, and where we're going. And that's very important. I'm not confident at this stage that we really have a large percentage of the community that can do that, and I think that is where the challenge comes in. And I don't think it's a hard sell. I'm sold after 5 weeks. I'm completely sold on the objective of the college. As I read the various information about the college, and I learn more about the history of the college, and I learn more about the vision and where we're headed, it's not going to be a difficult task. The only difficulty that I foresee is because of the economic times that we're in, and being able to have the resources available to really put out the information. But again, I believe we have the support of persons like yourself who are willing to allow us to come and share. We also have resources such as HLS TV channel 52, where we want to develop it and really make the best use of it. And we've already started to do so in the short time that I've been there. We've been able to establish a monthly program where we're going to be really coming out and speaking to the community about what is taking place at the college. So there are a number of things, there are a number of opportunities that weren't available 20 years ago when the college 22 years ago when the college was established. Certainly with the technology, we're on Facebook, we have our own television station, so it's really an opportune time. I'm really excited about it. There's so much potential. There's so much potential in terms of being able to market the college, and as we extend it regionally, that's a challenge for us, because this is a new step that we're taking in terms of really broadening the vision to a regional audience, and I'm looking forward to being able to contribute in that whole mission as well.
I'm excited. We're signing up. Right? well, that's great. So, Dr. Dawson, I want to get back to you because I'm seeing how the whole thing is going to work. But before we get to more of the marketing aspect of the college, you talked about the college, students coming to enroll in the college, some coming into the workplace, some going away to further to continue their education into four-year programs. And I was wondering if we have a sense of what the ratio is, how many of our students are going away. I know quite a few are going away. How many are going away, and how many are going directly into the workplace? How is the college working in that regard?
Cromwell, I can't give you a very precise figure, but I can tell you that about 2 semesters ago at a student orientation, I posed that very question to the students who were gathered for the orientation, and I myself was a little bit surprised. It was, based on my estimate, upwards of 75% of those students said that they were expecting to pursue studies after completing their degree at Hlscc. As an aside, related was Hlscc for where. And what I think that is happening, one thing that's a phenomenon that is changing now, that you're finding that there are more students now thinking about the United Kingdom as an opportunity for pursuing studies overseas, as opposed to the numbers that they would have in the past. But that's the number, and that's the intended. You know, that's what they're saying at this point, what I intend to do. Now, there's another study as to say, well, what did they actually do, right? But still, I think it's fair to say that a lot of the, especially younger students, that they do see this as an opportunity by which to use to go on to further studies, and those who complete the degrees oftentimes do. We find that the major concentration of students, they do go to the United States, though, as I said, other places are getting increasingly popular. A lot of them tend to go to the East Coast, particularly the Southeast. A lot of schools in Florida benefit from our students. Some are coming up as far as Georgia and so on, even North Carolina. So, you know, that's the kind of trends as far as what our students tend to do or seek to do when they're leaving our college.
Okay. We're going to take a break. When I come back, I want to talk about the parent culture of our young people now, not coming out of high school thinking about work, but coming out of high school thinking about college. And if that, do you sense that? I'm sensing something. Do you sense that? And also the push towards the UK, and perhaps some of the reasons for that push going towards the UK as opposed to going towards America. We're going to come back with more of Dr. Dawson and Director Britta Freeman right after these words from our sponsors. Don't go away, a lot more to come.
Spotlight is brought to you by Bolo's High-Tech Printery, Virgin Island Motors, and Clarence Thomas Limited.
Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm Ed Joenka. I'm here with Dr. Carl Dawson and Mrs. Geraldine Britta Freeman of the Hlscc Community College. We're talking about the college generally. We're talking about what's happened over the years, and some of the important achievements and some things that's going to be coming up in the future. We were talking about students going off to college and instead of going working, and the whole culture of students coming out of high school now and just going to college. Perhaps the tuition assistance program has something to do with that. I'm not sure, but is it that the society is beginning again to put that emphasis on education that we once had when I was growing up? I mean, what's your views on that? I mean, you could chime in too.
I would say, when I said the tuition assistance program did have an impact. That was introduced in 2006. And the semester around the time when it was introduced, we didn't see a great increase. But then by 2007, 2008, we started to see the college enrollment topping 1,000 students for a few semesters in succession. And then we started to level back off again till the last few semesters. We have been about between 940 to about 980 in the last few semesters. So I think that the tuition assistance program did have a positive impact in that regard. Now, one of the things are the challenges that a lot of people would meet and say, well, if it's free, you think that they really value it? Do you think that they're really working hard enough if this thing is free and available to them? Anecdotally, some faculty members have said, I don't hear it as much recently as I was hearing it, say, 3 or 4 years ago, that they didn't think that some students were working as hard as they should. And perhaps that's a sort of a instinctive, logical reaction, that if it's free, they wouldn't. But the college did, at that time, move to put certain things in place, because we felt that because it was now an automatic step. Automatic steps are good, because you're saying now the students are on the one hand seeing that my education does not end at high school, my education actually ends somewhere else. So that's a good positive thing. The only bad thing in my view about an automatic step is that I would like to know that there's in a sense, a level of contemplation and commitment with making a step towards going to college, instead of simply an automatic step. I'll finish high school, all my friends are going to college, and I'm going to college as well, without having thought about, but what's the level of discipline, what's the level of commitment that is needed in order to succeed at college. So we have at the college that once they're there, though, we are committed to their success. Well, so if they have not yet made their mind up in that regard, then we still have to work with them to try to get them to that place. Now, how do we do it? We do it in a few different ways. We do it, as you would say, perhaps by the carrot, that we offer workshops, seminars. Recently we have instituted a peer mentoring program where the older students, or the students who have been there before, are paired with students who are coming in to help them to adjust and make their way forward as far as education is concerned, to again improve the retention of those students and help them to succeed. But we've also had to do some, if you will, more punitive stick type things that we put in place a few years ago, an attendance policy, because we found that a number of students were just failing not to come to class, not showing up, and not being able to participate, and there was a reflecting result as far as their performance was concerned. So we actually put in place an attendance policy, which was not without controversy, because even among our faculty, as we contemplated the policy, there were those who would say, look, it's college, they come if they want, they just need to show up and produce the material, produce the tests or the projects, and if they can not come to class and come only when it's the test and pass, then that's fine, they should get their A. But there were others who were saying, look, this learning is a learning environment, and there's an interactive environment, and each person, not just the teacher, as we had the mindset before of the teacher, as they would say, the sage on the stage, where all the knowledge lied, and then that person is just filling up all the empty cups around the room, but that learning is interactive. So don't mind I have a PhD in English, the fact that you're a student, there is something that you bring to the classroom that enriches the learning environment. So we did that policy to encourage people to attend. Additionally, there were some policies that we had on the books at the college that we didn't really enforce. There's policies related to academic performance, that if you have a particular grade point average, you might get academic warning, and academic probation, then academic suspension. And we had them on the books for years, but we're not really suspending anybody. People would get warnings on their transcript, maybe even probation on their transcript, but not going the extra step. So for the last few years, we have been doing that. We have been having to, if a person's performance is not to the standard, and we don't just jump and say, a person isn't suspended after one semester, you get a warning. And then your name is forwarded to the Student Success Center, and they contact you, they encourage you to take part in workshops that might address note taking, test taking, all the things that might help you succeed as a student. But if that low performance continues, and especially if you don't show up to those workshops, then afterwards, if that performance continues, yes, you will be suspended, asked to sit out of a semester or two from the college. And it sounds tough, and it is a bit tough, but you know what, I think that the message had to go out that we're serious about education up there. And if you are not yet ready, because everyone is not in the same place, if you are not yet ready, then perhaps you should pursue something else and then come on to the college. And I could say that because there was a student that I encountered at the college a few years ago, that like 2 or 3 years ago, that really impressed me because this was a student that I had taught 10 years ago, when she was not serious. She came straight from high school to the college, and I taught her, and I knew she wasn't serious. Try and encourage and work with her as best you could. But then, nearly 10 years later, that same student came back, and it was a different mindset. Nobody had to tell her to be there early, to be on time, to do there was none of that, because that person was in a frame of mind to learn.
So the college now has programs and policies in place where no matter who comes to the school, there has to be a certain level of attendance. There has to be a certain academic performance in order for you to be able to stay in the school. So the school now has developed standards that it practices and that students have to adhere to so that they can maintain their place in enrollment in the college.
Yes.
So the whole notion that because the education is paid for collectively, I don't like to say free, because we are paying for it. We are paying for it collectively, because the education is being paid for collectively. It's no longer the case that students could just come and goof off and just hang out at the college and play cards all day. and not perform.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to as far to say that like all of that is eliminated, Cromwell, right? But I think that the message is getting out. The message is getting out as to what the expectations are for college attendance. And again, as you said, it's a matter of opportunity, that when students come, that we still try. It's never a situation where a student appears to be failing and immediately we say, okay, bam, this guy has to go. It's a matter of us trying to see, well, how do we assist this student in achieving the goals and reaching the potential that we feel they have inherent in them.
You've seen a shift in the culture in the Virgin Islands where young people and parents and their parents are really focusing their children on education, and more children are leaving high school and deciding, well, I'm going to college, I'm going to Hlscc, and then I'm going away to another college. You've seen that?
Absolutely. One of the things that I observed, again, since joining the college is that all of us are stakeholders in one way or another. We're not just stakeholders. I think it comes with this small community environment where we're all stakeholders. As Dr. Dawson just said, his daughter is attending the college. My daughter, in fact, graduated from the college last year, and I now have a greater appreciation of what Hlscc role was in her transition to university, and how easy that transition was. It was almost seamless, and so now I have a greater appreciation, and now I feel even like I have a vested interest in making sure that the institution does and carry on its vision and its mission, and lives out the reason why it was established, because I'm a stakeholder, and and I recognize that, and Dr. Dawson recognizes that in the level or in terms of the quality of education that his daughter receives, because certainly he wants the best for her, and so that has played a critical role in terms of, I interviewed a past graduate of the university who is a current member of staff at the college. I keep saying university, but she's a member of staff at the college who also took various levels of certification at the college, and so that person, I was able to appreciate, has a vested interest in her daughter graduated from the institution. And so you can see how all of us as a community should have a responsibility and a role and an interest in what is happening at the college. One of the things that you mentioned earlier about retention of students, that's going to be very important for us as we continue to grow and develop as an institution. And from what I've been hearing from past students versus what I'm seeing taking place at the college is, in fact, we are meeting the needs of the community in the sense that we're developing different programs and activities like the Performing Arts Series. We have the Race Series. We have different clubs that are holding events at the college, the football clubs. We have even the various organizations within the community that are having activities. This past week, we had 3 major events at the college that brought so many, I mean, could be hundreds of persons that came through. Aside from coming to the college for a course, they were coming there for other reasons. And so we can see how the college is growing and in leaps and bounds in different ways. And I think as we continue to look at where we want to be in the next few years, we'll continue to see, you know, the establishment of more programs. And I think one of the things that as a community we must be able to communicate what we would like to see for the college, and that is not just segmented to a group of people that are handpicked or selected. The community, we must make available avenues that the community can say, hey, this is what I would like to see. This is what I would like to see for the college in 20 years. Dr. Dawson mentioned something, and I really thought about it, where he said he doesn't see us as the University of the West Indies, where in fact I saw us as the university, you know, another University of the West Indies. So it's important that we have these discussions as to where we're going, because, you know, not necessarily because this is the president of the college, that his ideas are my ideas, and you know, so we have to develop those forums where the community, because it's our college at the end of the day, and so that's what I'll be seeking to do.
You talk about people coming through the college over the weekend. We have a performing arts center, auditorium, not a performing arts center, an auditorium. And it seems like more and more now, the community is beginning to see the value of the auditorium. Is the auditorium something that can be used to help bridge that gap between the college and the community, where people begin to look at the college as a venue, the auditorium as a venue, and the college as a place where you could come and perhaps not only learn a course, but do research, get good quality entertainment? Is that something that we should look forward to?
Absolutely. I mean, this is what I've gathered over the past 3 years in terms of the diversification of the performing arts series. I've seen it change from over the years, where the entire BVI is being considered in terms of the selection of the various acts that come and the various events that are taking place at the college. And so even with the lineup this year, you can see the diversity in the performances. And you know, we have Ballet Next coming up next week, and if you go online and you read about that company out of New York, you can see the level of excellence and the performance and tapestry that they're going to bring to the Virgin Islands. Is going to be for some children, so a student, someone that is going to see that performance, is going to be a life-changing experience, I believe. And so when you think about the impact that something like this performance or any other performance would have on a potential or prospective student or a member of the community that will come and take part in an event like that, it's overwhelming. It's really overwhelming. And I think that the more we begin to see the college as our college and begin to invest in the college meaningfully, knowing that when I thought about, I was reading the lyrics for the territorial song that we just adopted for the territory, and one of the lines in the territorial song, you know, education is the key to the success of the territory. And I believe the college is one such factor in the community that is going to be critical to the success of this territory.
As you talk about the performing arts series, I remember at one point we had some questions, the community had some questions about its cultural relevance. How is that changing? How has that changed? And do you see that as changing, and the role that the cultural relevance of the performing arts series have in the community and bridging that community with the gap with the college?
Besides the performing arts series, I know that there are a number of plans that are in the making at the college to address that issue in terms of persons becoming more aware of who we are as Virgin Islanders, where we've come from, where you know, our traditions and our culture and so forth. I know there's a number of various initiatives that are on the ground that we're expecting to put forward to the community shortly. But in terms of the performing arts, I know even this Christmas we're planning to have a cultural extravaganza of sorts for Christmas, and that is going to, I understand, it's going to really be an exciting program that's going to take us back a number of years and bring to light Christmas gone, you know, in past years, previous years, and we're going to bring that back. And so this is an opportunity to utilize the auditorium in such a way that people be taken interest in the Virgin Islands and our history and our culture. And I take the opportunity to invite people to come out and see what that particular program is about. And even as you move into the Christmas program, the regular Christmas concert that we're having in December, that will be on December 8th, I believe. You see your own people demonstrating their skills, their talent, you know, articulating in song and dance and so forth. And it gives you a greater appreciation of who we are as a people. And I think the fact that the college can make such a contribution in itself is a worthwhile endeavor. And I'm really happy to be a part of it at this time.
Yes, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back with more about Hlscc right after these words from our sponsors. Keep it locked right here to Spotlight.
This program is sponsored by the law firm of J.S. Archibald & Co. and by the trust company J.S. Archibald Trust Services Limited, both of Rotown, Tortola, BVI.
Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm having an interesting discussion here with Dr. Dawson and Director Geraldine Ritter-Freeman of the Hlscc Community College, having a lot of fun discussing the college, its achievement, its goals, and some of the things that's coming up and some of what has happened already. We're going to give you a chance to join the conversation if you like. In a few minutes, we'll open up the phones and the numbers will go up on the screen. You can either call or you can text. But we left off talking about the performing arts series, the concert series, its cultural relevance, and as you know, Dr. Dawson, a lot of members of the community were saying, you know, there's too much classical music, too much Bach and Beethoven and that kind of stuff, and you know, even to a certain extent, jazz. We didn't have, you know, I don't know how much of a appreciation we have for jazz as a people. Maybe some of us do who have been exposed to it, but generally speaking, as for a mass audience, you know, jazz in itself and perhaps even jazz in its pure form is less important to us as maybe even popular jazz, like jazz fusion, you know, with a beat and less improvisation and more, you know, steady
stuff that you can follow.
Something you can stuff that you can follow. Exactly. That's the best way to put it, right? Yeah. So the cultural relevance, and Ms. Ritter-Freeman talk about that cultural relevance and how it's is being reestablished, and I want to get your take on that as well.
Yeah, I would say I think that, you know, the series when it started and the direction it went, and I mean, my credit to the ones, you know, the individuals who got it going, was sort of looking at a gap. Okay, that there were some types of music being made available regularly, and then okay, let's try to fill a gap, because these weren't things that were normally available, the classical and the jazz and so on, and so it served that purpose. But as you said, yeah, there was that concern. I said, well, this thing doesn't look, it fits me. I would say that even now, though, that when we consider the series, we still see it as not only meeting you at the point of music that you like, but trying to expose and expand your horizons, so that the person who would come and enjoy a classical concert would feel confident enough that we put on quality acts, so that in addition to when they came to watch a classical concert, they may say, well, you know what, I'm going to try to dance. You know, there's some dance, there's some Latin, some Cuban dance that we had last year. I want to try that. That wasn't something was my thing, but because I'm confident in the series and they provided for me, they met me at my point of need. I want to see now if they're going to come through with something else.
Part of the education process.
The education process. So I'm really glad for the diversity that we've had. Like, for instance, if we consider this series as a whole, we've had gospel singer. We're going to have ballet, which you could say is a good bit classical ballet, because there will be, as I understand it, a string quartet accompanying the ballet dancers as well. We'll have our own college groups for the Christmas concert. We're going to have some jazz. Tito Puente Jr. Tito Puente Sr., of course, is a legendary jazz artist. Tito Puente Jr. will be here in January. Then we'll have David Rudder. Again, you know, top-notch soca artist in the Caribbean. And the concert that we'll have in February or March is something that I've taken particular pride in, our Virgin Islands Showcase concert.
Yes.
For the last few years, we've had that. Yeah, hot. And I mean, I would give credit to Miss Delight Charles, who was involved in organizing the series earlier under the presidency of Dr. Michael O'Neill. And the first Virgin Islands Showcase concert featured some local legends, such as the Heritage Dancers, the Shooting Stars Steel Orchestra, and Lashing Dogs. You know, those were the groups featured in that first VI showcase. But since then, we've done Quito and the Edge. We've had Macaulay Nibs, now a blessed memory, but gave a performance, you know, just a few months before he passed. We've had Morris Mark and his family, which again, I was very, very pleased to be involved in making sure that concert happened, because I mentioned Keita Raima, I mentioned Macaulay Nibs, and you know the Raima name and the Nibs name, but now here's Mark.
Yes.
But what we have to ask ourselves, who are the people of the British Virgin Islands now? And who's going to tell me that Morris Mark, who has been performing on Virgin Islands for more than 40 years, shouldn't be in a Virgin Islands Showcase concert?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And his children, all of them are recording artists. They perform all over. And I really thought that they were a good addition.
It was a great concert. That was there.
Yeah. And then perhaps the best attended Virgin Islands Showcase concert was when we featured our 4 saxophonists.
Oh yes.
Dalen Vanterpool, Drexel Glasgow, Jeremy Vanterpool, and Kamal Georges. That was an excellent.
That was off the hook.
That was off the charts altogether. And then this year we're bringing Virgin Islands Ladies in Song together. So we're gonna bring some well-known names. We're bringing Rita is gonna be there. Monique Chapelaine is gonna be there. Nicole Donovan is going to be there, bringing a little bit of a twist, some gospel, some jazz, some popular music as well,
and some classical.
And then we're going to have with them.
I know Ms. Donovan's got a beautiful,
very beautiful, you know, classically trained voice.
Yes.
You know, so we're going to have a good mix, and we're going to have Trinity. Trinity, you know, as perhaps most popularly as the backing band for Quito and the Edge. Rochelle Smith,
they back up everybody.
Shorby, exactly, and Akisha.
Everybody that comes in. They are there. They back up everybody.
They'll be working with us on up to I think 3 concerts this year. So again, I really see that as and something that we can take a hold of and really feel pride in here in the Virgin Islands, because we're given an opportunity for our own local people to take center stage at the college.
Yeah. You know what, since we on the concert series, perhaps I don't know, Geraldine, if you brought the schedule. Did you?
I don't have the schedule on me.
But I was running it down there pretty accurately, you know.
Yeah. The only one we didn't cover was the opera.
What I'm actually asking Dr. Dawson is for dates.
Okay.
And I don't know if you have the. I know you know what's coming, but I don't know if you know the
exact dates.
The exact dates.
I could go to the month, but I can't say the date.
But we do have it online.
It's online.
It's online, and we do have it on Channel 52, and it will be running continually.
Yeah. Because I know this concert series is the hot concert series.
If I may add, though, one of the things I wanted to say, in addition to the performing arts series, and of course trying to meet the needs of the community. One of the things we started to talk about even before this show started this evening was planning. And one of the things that I see myself doing, given my experience being in government and so forth, the importance of planning, because we can try to meet the needs of the community and continue to come up with this activity and this program, and to no end. And I think it's important that we find our niche and we establish where the type of activities that we want to have, and not just come up with activities to meet the needs of everybody, because that would be an impossible task. But I think one of my responsibilities would be to assess, in a sense, the activities that are going on at the college, and to bring, at least from where I sit, and bring the views of the community in terms of, are we just looking at quantity, or are we also looking at quality? Because if we're going to look at quality, it's going to require a certain amount of effort, time, and resource to go into these activities, so that you put forward a product that is of a high standard. You don't just want to be putting on activities just to say there's something going on at the college, but we want, I believe that we would want to have activities that are at a level that people from all over, when they hear that something is happening at the college, and like you said, they would have the confidence in the college that this is something that is going to be good.
If it's in a college, you need to go see it.
Yes.
And that's the thing, I guess, that has disappointed me a bit. When I've been to so many performances at a college, when I have heard people coming out and say, man, more people should have been here. They thought that the performance was good, that it was spot on, and they said, man, more people should have been here. And I on the one hand, you do feel a little bit of a sense of pride in the sense, well, okay, we had some good selections. Not there would be one or two in between that you felt maybe they didn't quite hit the mark. But I think a lot of people do take the performance, they're professionals, and they take it very seriously and try to give up their very best.
Promotion, though, is promotion a factor? Both of you, is it that we're not promoting the events in the college enough? We're not promoting them perhaps from the right perspective, from the perspective that would draw. I mean, if you are bringing Tito Puente, for example, Tito Puente Jr., who father is perhaps the best Latin jazz performer, one of them that's for sure that exists, and I'm sure his son followed in his footsteps, and we might not be familiar with Latin jazz, right? Latin music generally. But if you sit down, and listen to it, it's sort of like there's some calypso in there, mixed in there. I mean, it's Caribbean music. Latin jazz is Caribbean music.
Exactly.
Caribbean, African American, African music. It's a combination, and you get the same rhythms, you get the same beats, and even if you don't understand the language, you could feel it. You could feel it, and it's certainly something that everyone can enjoy, whether you're familiar with it or not. Now, are we promoting it from a perspective that, listen, hey, this is great music, you might not have been exposed to it, or you might not know what it is, but you're going to get a good feeling, check it out. As opposed to just putting it out there and saying, well, whoever wants to come, let them come. That's like just attracting the converted, or just attracting the aware.
Exactly.
Those that are aware, and not trying to reach out to those who might not know and say, listen, you might not know this. Check out this brother with the Latin jazz orchestra is going to be on, and you're going to like it. The promotion, is that a...
Well, you're posing a question, but you're actually making a statement, and you're confirming what I tried to say a while ago. Again, if we're going to have 365 days in a year, it's going to be important to us as an institution to say, what are the activities that we want to be able to put on in this given year, and to plan effectively so that we can market these particular programs in such a way that people are aware and they take an interest. It will be very difficult to be able to put the time and resources and the finances into marketing all of the various activities that we can think about that we may want to put on as a college. But when you think about everything as a whole, and you think about the year and how many activities that we would have to promote, then you have to sort of try to measure and determine who gets what can you say, who, you know. And so those are the kind of things, again, like I said, that it will be, the onus would be on me and Dr. Dawson and some other decision makers to decide this is where we want to be as a college. These are the types of activities that we want to put on, and when we put them on, we're going to put them on to the best of our ability with excellence, and we're going to be able to promote them accordingly. But unless we do that planning and that thinking ahead and looking at the bigger picture, it's always going to be what is the next activity, and we can come up with activities. I don't think we're short on ideas. I mean, between three of us this evening, we could come up with tons of activities that we can put on at the college. But we really have to really think about in the long run, what does it mean and why are we doing what we're doing? And those are things that I hope that I can come in with a new perspective and really shed some light on, and really work with the dynamic team that's at the college, because we have so many people. Like I said, I don't think that we're short on ideas, because if you come up at the college with all of the doctors and all of you know, the PhDs
and the masters up there,
yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And so we're not short on ideas at the college. It's just an issue of determining and looking and sticking to the plan, the strategic plan that we're developing. We have to stick to the plan. It's a problem that we have. I don't think it's unique to the Virgin Islands, but we had this little discussion about planning, and I'm really a stickler for planning. We have to stick to the plan. If this is the plan that we're going to take time to develop, then we have to stick to the plan. We can't be diverting and doing all sorts of things that really has nothing to do with the plan.
Yes, Ms. Geraldine. It's my fault. I'm not sticking to the plan. But you mentioned Dr. Dawson Geraldine mentioned all of the degreed persons that we have at the college. And it brought to my mind the whole question of the college as being a center of intellectual discussion, analysis and discussion. What role you see the college playing in that way? Because we have a lot of news items, a lot of things going on in the community, and we hear people talking about them. And are we sure that we are getting and we're drilling down into these issues and into the discussions that we're having in the community to bring up what really needs to be on the surface, so that we can make more informed and more intelligent decisions?
Certainly, there's a lot more could be done, and I think that one of what I consider to be really the most exciting initiatives of my time is the revitalization of the Virgin Islands Studies program. And we have on board with us now Dr. Hlscc, who will be leading that area, and there'll be more said to the public related to that. But that will bring some focus, as it had in the past, on history and culture, and that's his area, but also to a lot more on contemporary events, the phenomena, the social, economic, environmental phenomena that we are dealing with on a daily basis, that we really need to interrogate and really seek to understand. I think that having that program will benefit the community by the substance or the content of that program will be things in the Virgin Islands, so it will naturally draw people into the conversation. And I think it will also benefit our faculty members, because as a college, as a community college offering 2-year degrees, yes, we do have some PhDs and masters and so on, but the nature and culture of the institution isn't one that is focused a lot on research. It is more heavily weighted towards teaching than research. When you look at universities, there's a much greater balance between research and teaching. And really, the skills that are developed, or the persons who attain the status of professors within university, a lot of times they have had to go through the rigor of developing themselves as a researcher in order to be able to teach at the university level. So I believe that the Virginia Studies program, and again, as I say, every time I speak with Dr. Angel Smith, you know, we get more and more excited about what is coming. And what is coming is a greater understanding of ourselves. But I think it's going to help our faculty as well, because there are going to be some faculty who may have developed some skills in some areas that we'll be able to assign from time to time. Teaching is still going to be our main focus, but we will be able to assign them to particular projects that will help us to understand phenomena around us, and also help them to hone their own research. But
even creation of debates in the college and so on. Exactly. But we got to take a break. But a short answer to a question on Virgin Island history. It irks me about the way we present our history. You know, in 1940 something, this thing happened. You know, and we never seem to get a sense of pride from the history, and we don't present it in like everybody else present their history as if that's the history.
We're gonna be turning the corner just now, so you wait and see.
Yeah, wait and see.
You wait and see. We turn the corner.
We don't talk about the genius, the ingenuity, the creativity, the struggle and the overcoming of challenges that would make us feel that, well, our forefathers did this thing, and so we are descendants from them, and therefore we can do it too. We don't need to constantly feel dependent on others to get what we got to get done, because we are people who are accustomed to doing our thing. I mean, you know, like when I look back at the boat builders, for example, that's my perfect example of how Osmond Davis used to go command us and cut down trees with a sorting fork to make the upright, to put the plank around the boat. You know, adds off the back and smooth it off, and I mean, that's ingenuity, that's genius, that's creativity,
genius right there.
And them boats went as far as Santo Domingo and Antigua to bring back stuff and create a whole economy. I mean, yeah, the date that it happened is important, but to me, how it happened, and the context,
the determining forces,
yes,
outcomes, you know, and I tell you, that's where we're going. So you hold on, buckle up your seatbelt and come on the board.
We're gonna take a break for one from our sponsors. When we come back, we're gonna open up the phones and we're gonna continue our discussion. The college is just is going through an accreditation process. We're gonna talk about what that is, what it means, the importance of it. Keep it locked right here. You can call us on the phones, or you can text us. The number's going to come up on the screen when we come back. Keep it locked. Don't move.
Spotlight is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Tortola Concrete Limited, and CCT Global Communications.
Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm enjoying myself. It's nothing like having a good discussion, and we certainly having one tonight about Hlscc. Hlscc has certainly grown over the 22 years of its existence. It's come a tremendous ways. We got over 1,200 students, I think.
About around 1,000 students.
Around 1,000 students. We a lot of our students going abroad to college. They leaving, they graduating Hlscc, and they either going into the workplace. A lot of them going into financial services through the Financial Services Institute. A lot of them going into trades from our technical and vocational training, and many going into academic programs in the UK and America and all over the world. And certainly it's a testament to the development of the college, and those persons, those leaders who had the vision and who's helped the college to progress over the years. Is it easier now for, I heard Geraldine talk about her daughter going to university and how the transition was easy. We no longer have that problem of credit transfer to a large extent. We have articulation agreement. Perhaps you need to explain what an articulation agreement is, but we have many articulation agreements, and also our credits are being accepted internationally more easily now than before, perhaps.
Yeah, I would say it certainly, it is easier. I mean, we still would have had a good record of transfers in the past, but I believe it's easier now. I think one thing that we've done through the years is that realize and come to grips with that what we are, one of the things that we're providing here is the first 2 years of a 4-year degree. So it means then that we must make available the courses that they would have taken in the first 2 years had they been to that school that they're going to transfer to, because they must now compare with the native students. When we say native student, not native to the area, but native to the school, those who came in as a freshman and went up. So when you meet them, when our students as transfer, they meet them as sophomore or as juniors, they must be able to perform to the same level as those individuals. And you mentioned before you went to break the accreditation process, and becoming accredited certainly helps that as far as the transfer process is concerned. But I still don't want to overstate that. I think it's so very important, but I don't want to overstate it, because a lot of our students have been getting into the programs they want to get into, right? But this is certainly will enhance that. It also will enhance opportunities for student exchanges, because when you're exchanging with schools from other places, they're more comfortable with coming to accredited schools if you want to do student exchanges and so on, and just generally enhances the reputation of the institution. But the thing that I've always driven home to or faculty and anyone really, students and anyone who would listen, that more than anything else, the accreditation exercise is an improvement exercise. It's for us here, it enhances our reputation. In the United States, when just about every school is accredited. Why? It's tied to federal funding. If you're not accredited, you can't get federal funding. That's not an issue for us here. We ain't getting federal funding anyhow.
Right.
So what is it for us? Yes, the enhanced reputation, but it's an improvement process also. It's a framework by which you can now assess your own institution and determine, you know, what are the practices of other quality higher education institutions.
The maintenance, the measurement and maintenance of standards.
The measurement and maintenance of standards, and then how can you seek to apply? Because in the process, they give some guidelines, but they really try to shy away from giving very, very precise prescription as to say your school should do this or should do that. They said you should know what your school should do. That's the first thing. They want to know, you should know what is it that you plan for your school, what it is that you're trying to achieve in your students, and then if you're an effective organization, the thing that my good friend Geraldine was saying, what's the plan? Are you sticking to the plan? And are you achieving what the plan was designed to achieve? So it's been a great ride. It's rough at times, because sometimes some of the things that some of the practices that are seen constantly in quality schools, we didn't have all of them. So there were things that had to be introduced. There were things that now had to become a part of our culture as we continue on this progress. And just to give you an update as to where we are, earlier this year we achieved the status of becoming a candidate for accreditation. After you would have met eligibility requirements, then become a candidate, and then the next step is becoming fully accredited. So very shortly we will be attending an institute in Delaware, United States, where we will be exposed and trained in developing a self-study, and that is the major document to be prepared, the major experience to the last final step to becoming accredited.
And I think it should be said that we met all the 14 standards with excellence, and that was, I think, the coup de grace, so to speak.
Yeah, it was very satisfying.
Yes,
I think as I have this opportunity, Cromwell, I think I can state something very early here, because I think a lot of people didn't necessarily have an appreciation for the timeline or the potential timeline in this accreditation process. So we became a candidate in June 2012, right? So I'm just letting you know that next year we're not going to be accredited. Right? In 2015, according to the plan,
yes,
that is when a team will visit us again and determine our assessment or readiness for becoming fully accredited. So in 2013, 14, I don't want to hear, so how come the thing taking so long? I'm telling you now, that is going to be 2015 before you hear whether or not we accredited.
But it's an important step, and I think as you said, in terms of developing the standards and the benchmarks to measure our education process and where we are compared to the rest of the world, and having our students be able to go overseas, go internationally, and be recognized as students from an accredited university. Have people come here to study at an institution that's accredited university, because you know when you got your little piece of paper, your lambskin or whatever, they put the thing on, right? And you go to somebody looking for a position, they will ask you, or they might not ask you, but behind the scenes they check in to see if your college is an accredited university. It's not some fly-by-night organization somewhere through the bush that you buying this diploma from. You know, so I think by global standards, certainly accreditation is important, and is going to give not just the college a certain level of prestige. In my view, it is also going to give the whole territory a certain level of prestige and status, in that the little Virgin Islands have accredited 2-year institution.
And I think even as far as the regional trust, as we put it out there, it will also be a benefit in that regard as well, because again, you'll have a number of students from other schools in the Eastern Caribbean who are planning to continue their studies in the USA, and may find that this is the best option to begin with before transferring on.
Absolutely. Now, the phone numbers on the screen. You can call us or you can text us if you want to participate in a discussion in any way, ask a question, offer some support. Maybe you have a young person in your family that wants to go or should go to school to continue their education. It's an excellent opportunity to ask some of those questions that you might need to have answers to. Money. Money is an issue. Of course, we pay for the college collectively through the government subvention. We collect a small amount of money, and since, of course, the tuition assistance program, that has cut what the college can in fact take in considerably. So, well, for the most part, you could say 98-97% of the college funding is from the community treasury, from us collectively. I don't like you say the government. The politicians them think that the money's theirs. You know, so
the community treasury.
Yeah, the community treasury.
Right,
I just want them to know that that's my money.
All right.
That's your money.
I'm with you.
Generally, you got some money in there too. You understand? So I like to put it that. But we are paying together as a community. We are paying for our children to go to school. And there's not many countries in the world paying for their children to go to school from birth to college. That's a major accomplishment that we need to recognize. That, you know, when we first at the politicians, that some of them had some really good vision, and they did a lot for us. So I want to give them credit as well. But you know, we've lost about 20 to 30% of our tourism market over the last 4 years or so, and that results resulted in not having a lot of money to throw around like we used to. How is the college faring, and what can the community do to help the college to bridge that gap and help to enhance our revenue coming into the college directly?
You know, Cromwell, it has been a challenging time. Ironically, I actually felt a little bit like Obama. You know, he happened to come in to be president at a time when the financial ship was sinking, and it made it very challenging. And similarly here with us, and I still will give, you know, applaud both this government and the previous government for their continued support of the college. One official at one time, when I'd asked about money or more money, he said, you know, the reason that you didn't get more money wasn't because we didn't want to give you more money, just that we had a little bit less money to share around, so we had to be careful as to how we did it. But so the reality of funding is one that we have to deal with, and when I say we have to deal with, at a college level, there are some aspects of it that we have to deal with, but at a national level, you know, at a national level, as you mentioned, you talk about funding from primary school up to college, and that question will have to be asked. We're committed to funding primary school, we are committed to funding high school. To what degree are we committed to funding college, and what is our goal as far as the quality of the institution, and what are the needed inputs to maintain a certain level of quality? So that's a question, that's a national question that we are going to have to grapple with, and I believe that it'll be a good conversation, and I believe that there are people who will see the light. Now, from the college's point of view, on our level, now there are certain things that we're going to have to do. We're going to have to see, well, okay, what are the other revenue opportunities? Are there programs that we can sell that we are not currently selling, or we can sell in different markets that are going to yield us more revenue than we have, especially in areas where we can charge prices that are not a subsidized price, you know? So those are the kinds of issues that we're going to see. Well, what are the other streams of revenue? And we also will have to see, given the role of the college, given the impact of the college in the areas of the graduates, first of all, the impact that they've had in workplaces, in community life, the impact that we've had on cultural and sports events, the various things that the college has meant to this community, we're saying, well, now this is an opportunity. We haven't perhaps created enough opportunities for the community to participate with the college, especially as far as supporting the institution is concerned. I think there are a lot of people, as I interact out there, there are a lot of people who are very respectful and appreciative of what the institution is doing. And I think that it is a good thing that at this time that we are looking for more and more ways to see, well, how do we invite and allow the community to participate with us through the support of the institution. One thing that we have coming up, we have a group formed at the college internally, the college of Friends of the Hlscc, that are focused on fundraising. And one of the first initiatives that they've had was the development of what they call a race for a cause. Now, this is something that we've done in our road race series. Our road race series is 15, 17 years going, and for the last 2 years, we've had a race for a cause. 1 year, the beneficiary was for cancer, which we provided to local agencies for cancer, and the second year was for diabetes. So this group said, well, like, you know, this one ought to be for the college.
For us.
This year was for
us. Give it to everybody.
Because we are as big an issue. We were as big a cause that has as great an impact, you know. So it's worthy, and I agree with them. I agreed with them. Next year race for cause wouldn't be the college again. I'm sure it'll be something else. But it was an opportunity for us to try, and what we are seeking to do really is to try to bring in the community to the college on the 24th of November. The race starts at 7, registration starts at 6:30, and it's about we'd like to get as much money as we can, obviously, but what I am more focused on is developing a culture of giving. That individuals having the opportunity to see, well, this is a cause for which I can be truly interested in and support. The college is here today, 22 years later, because of the vision and investment of some persons 22 years ago. So what we are doing, this particular cause, because there'll be a number of things that we'll raise funds for at the college, but this one is towards the building of an endowment fund. That where we're going to collect some money through the years, try to build that up to a particular amount, to the point where we can then use the earnings off of those funds to help to finance various things within the institution. So now some people say, boy, that's a long-term goal. I prefer to put my money into something that I can see next week, and that we will have those opportunities. But I believe that we do need the opportunity, the visionary opportunity, for individuals to say, yes, I'm going to make an investment now that's going to bear fruit some years down the road. Because I believe that if this country is going to be great, if this country is going to be sustained, it's going to take some seed planting. And you know what will give me the most joy on the 24th of November, Cromwell? Well, aside from seeing you there and running and contributing, aside from that, I would really love to see families there. And I would love to see parents encouraging their 3-year-old, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, giving them their own money and coming up and registering and saying, this is my $5, write my name down as a contributor. So that 20 years from now, when they're 25 and 30, some of those same individuals are attending the college, the record will show that they were investing in their own future.
That's right.
That's what I want to see. From early age. Yeah. So I'm really encouraging everyone to come out on that day.
All right, let's go over step by step how this thing will work.
Let's go.
Yeah. So on the 24th of November, you're having a race for a cause.
Yes.
And you walk us through it. How is it going to work? Are we going to be running? How long are we going to have to run? Because I ain't planning to run too long.
Okay.
How much money we going to have to pay? Contribute or donate?
Yes.
And how the structure going to be shaped, and how is the goal going to be achieved?
So the 24th of November at the College campus at Parikita Bay, it will be a 2-mile race. We will use 2 mile and 1 mile, because the small children, we only have them run 1 mile. So we'll probably do the same thing, and we will do the same thing on that day. But for the 2-mile race, it will be, for those of you who can visualize Parikita Bay, we'll run on the College Drive and then run up the agriculture road up to the top of that road and back down again. And that will complete the 2-mile loop. And we really want to see participation in the race. And it's not about running, because there'll be some who will be walking. And I will even give a pass to say, if you just want to come out and show your support, you don't want to run, you don't want to walk, you just want to stand on the side and cheer those who are running and walking on, that is the day that we're willing to accept you on that day. So as far as contributions are concerned, and I must say thanks to, because there are individuals and organizations who have already started to send contributions, started to trickle in, and we're very grateful for that. And I would like, organizations, I love the contributions from organizations, and there'll be other initiatives from which we'll seek to get their support. But even with the organizations, I'd like to see the people in the organizations, not just to say that we got a check from First Caribbean Bank. I'd love to see 20 First Caribbean Bank employees out on that day, because it's, to me, they're purposely in their mind saying, look, I support this. I believe that the college is something that is beneficial. I work alongside college graduates, and I've seen them perform, and I see how they have helped our organization, and I believe that the more we invest in them, the better and better we're going to turn out individuals from the institution.
So you don't want parents who just give the kids money. You want parents who spend quality time.
We want parents to spend quality time. We want a whole whole family there.
Okay.
We want the whole family there. So if you're planning to come in,
so you come in, you bring $5, $10, $100, whatever you could afford, and we'll
sign up and register.
Collect that money.
We will collect you.
Run up and down Parity Bay.
Yes. As far as we will be recording, so it will, but I mean, everybody will be different. We have the option if you wish to contribute and remain anonymous, that's fine. We can do that. But if you wish to contrite and have your name recorded, is there a
minimum or?
There's no minimum.
Okay.
There's no minimum. That young child that the parents, they have that dollar that they skim off from their allowance to end up with $1. Yes, we definitely taking that, and we're especially inviting our alumni to come on, the persons who have directly benefited from the college, and we actually will have we won't be selling t-shirts to everyone, but we will have t-shirts for the alumni. So even before the race, we want them to contact us. A number of them have already done so. Contact us about getting their t-shirts. So among the group that's there that morning, among the crowd, they will stand up. You know what? Yeah, we're in a little bit of a different category. We're glad you're here. But the alumni, we want to distinguish them and really invite them to come out and encourage them to come out on that day.
And that's November the 24th, and it starts at what time in the morning?
The registration is 6:30. The race will begin at 7.
Okay. 6:30 a.m.
6:30 a.m.
And that's on a Saturday.
Yes.
24th is on a Saturday. We file on at 8 o'clock.
Ready?
Yeah, I know you didn't think that the time was going to go so fast, but we know how it is when we're having fun. So I want to thank you for coming. I don't know, you got some last thing, and if you want to say, y'all choose who's going to say the last, who's going to have the last 30 seconds.
Both of us or just one could say?
Just one.
Well, I'll say the one thing. I'm glad to say, for instance, that Geraldine is on board, because I think it's part of our whole plan as far as really engaging the community. And I believe that we've seen it by virtue, and we will need that communication with the community, because I believe the Virgin Islands Studies program is something that's going to bring the community. As far as we are building our programs within the college, we are using more and more advisory groups, again bringing in the community. We expect that in some programs we'll be using more internship opportunities. So there will be a greater linking between the college and the community in a number of areas. So again, I really would like to thank those who have helped the college through the years, and encourage you again to do so. There'll be various opportunities, obviously the rates for a cause, but just all the number of ways that you have been helping the college through the years, and we really appreciate it and look forward to your continued support.
Dr. Dawson, thank you very much for being my guest on Spotlight.
Thank you very much, sir.
And Sister Geraldine, it's always a pleasure.
All right.
Yes, indeed. Next week, the Spotlight is going to be on the shipping registry and the national youth policy. Two important topics here in the BVI. Don't forget to tune in to Spotlight on JTV Channel 55, and you can also watch us on Sunday afternoons at 2:30 as well. Yes, I'm Hlscc, reminding you that when the spotlight is on, you see the facts. Peace and blessings.
This program is sponsored by the law firm of J.S. Archibald & Co. and by the trust company J.S. Archibald Trust Services Limited, both of Rotown, Tortola, BVI.